Hi, everybody. Um, this video is going to be a lot different than all the other videos that I've ever done on this channel. It's January 13th, 2021. And right now, the earth is getting influxed with a lot of new energy. And we've got a lot going on in regards to government and disclosure. On one side, we have a lot of beings like me that have been trapped in all types of different mind control projects made to be guinea pigs. Because then the US government knew all about it. I'm coming to the world today to start doing my best to tell my story. Everyone on this channel has only seen one side of me, the one that had to survive. And I'm sorry if I'm shaking. My name is Kristen Renee Genzel, was the name I was given. They say I was born in Bryant, Texas, a small town where Texas A&M is in Texas, where the Nazis came in and took over the land after the war, and then started building engineers and engineering in order to inhabit the land. I was born an adopted rape baby, is what the story was. I'm really not sure about any of that anymore. I'm not going to get into my adoption story because it's its own video. Because everything in my life was staged in order to make an energetic impact. Because we were all hybridized down here to create energy. And the US government and everybody knew. This is the basis of your pharmaceuticals. This is the basis of the attack right now on the DNA. But I was just a little girl. I was born in St. Joseph Hospital, where I was also raped across the street when I was 12. I started getting really bad migraines when I was 9 years old. So bad that I would start throwing up and go into convulsions because I couldn't handle the pain. When I got to this planet, they did a bunch of tests on me and started me really, really young. And then all the doctors were around giving me drugs. All types of drugs. 4 and 5 at a time. Even liquid LSD when I was 13, which led my parents to try to do anything to help me, which led us to a doctor at Texas A&M with a lab underneath Texas A&M. There was a huge submarine. I found out through my awakening experience, which leads me to today, that the man who put me in there, his name was Dr. PhD Fife, Fife, and he reported to Eisenhower. And he lived in Kim Jong Un's palace. He also was in Stalin's palace afterward. See, they told my parents that they were putting pure oxygen in there when they'd wheel me in there with a migraine. So whenever I'd get a migraine, no matter when, which was usually like 2 or 3 in the morning, they'd take me to this underground laboratory and they'd put me in this chamber. And I'd beg my mom not to let me go. Because when I got in there, I just felt like I didn't exist anymore. I told my parents that it was pure oxygen, but it wasn't. It was a gas called Comax. Now I know that my family that sold me off in to do this for them made a lot of money, has its own Rolex for the gas that they pumped through me. And I also know that on a soul level, I even agreed to do that. But I didn't agree for everything to be taken from me and the world to be set against me and me to be put in a submarine away from consciousness, and then later in 2011 sawing me in half and turning me on backwards. I didn't agree to that, which is later what happened. See, I got a problem with all of it. Why did you put an 11-year-old girl in a submarine underneath Texas A&M and hijack her consciousness? Why were you having me running codes and timelines from World War II from a different dimension? Why did you put me in some type and shrink wrap me? Because this wasn't a hypobaric chamber. They shrink wrapped me, is what they did. See, my problem is that the whole world got a problem with me. When all I've ever done is try to get free from Project Cognit, Project Signet, which is the basis of MK Ultra. So don't even go there with me. That's why I had to call myself Coco G, you see, because I was just a cog. My birth certificate down here has never been in my lap. I'm supposedly owned by the state of Texas out of Austin. I don't even know what's on my birth certificate. Why is the one that you say is my real father, Gary Wayne Polson, why is all of his information missing out of the Texas courthouse when he died in a penitentiary? Why was he in the bird unit? Why is it attached to Alcatraz? Why does it have everything to do with Antarctica? Why aren't you telling the world what the fuck humans really are and what's going on? Why are you playing these games? Why did you do this to me? and who is standing up for me. This has to do with cloning. Now we go to Las Vegas with Clonaid and Texas A&M. And the cloning of a boy that they should have never cloned. And the buying and selling of DNA. Which leads us to our current issue. And the fact and why everybody's coming after yours. There's a whole group of us that have been saving each other from breeding programs. As seen beings being trapped in hell gates. Being forced to have babies down here that none of us signed up to do. Being forced to manifest so much for the government because they know exactly how shit is done down here. They hybridized and made us to make their shit. It don't take very many humans to manifest for the entire collective when they're goddamn starseeds and blue flames that came here to assist the human race when this bitch blew. And everyone sat and watched when they hijacked the entire consciousness again in 2018. And then my crew had to go back in and get y'all out October 2019. And that brings me to the point right here where I sit with no place to live. Not even the ability to get a goddamn banking account because of the fucking people that are fending off me, reporting to the United Nations, working with Saudi Arabia, working with the digital union, attempting to fucking kill me, tracking me down, stealing my birth certificate, stealing my son's credentials, stealing my name, forging my name, signing my name, pretending to be my husband, taking my money. Because, see, I started a company in 2011, you see. Artificial intelligence. I did. I was bringing in a dating site. Obama was using the tech. Now I'm going to skip forward to 2011. I'll freaking skip the 9 years they had Esther and Christ working at ExxonMobil during the merger, able to connect their mainframe systems to build Y2K because they were doing it to us this whole fucking lifetime. Wake the fuck up, people. And now they've completely blocked my son from me, which is the only reason that I even started this journey to begin with. When his face started falling off. Because they called CPS and forced me to put him in an MRI machine and sedate him when he was 5 years old, just like they did me in the very first MRI machine ever in Texas, in Galveston, in the 80s. Did you know that it's only been 25 years since the very first MRI machine was even available? No, you wouldn't, because that's how fast, whenever you start unwinding star seeds for futures, Trump. And I'm praying right now that somebody hears me and somebody gets this message out, and this is the first video. I'll be back with somebody being able to interview me. They put me as the Christ. My family held the records of the Remnant Mormon Church. COUGH Gov. connected to Fannie Mae, connected to Peel on my adopted mother's side. My father, Genzel, Heisler, Hitler, German, Czechoslovakia, and his uncle even confirmed that I'm a stolen queen from Czechoslovakia during the goddamn COVID. I really don't know who I am or what I am. There's beings around me that do, but they won't help me. So I'm grateful right now that I do have a place to stay and I do have people that are around me. I'm trying really hard to understand what all just happened because I walked the vector Pisces and I saw a lot of things that might not come true now, but they still happen to me. And I just want everybody to know that the government and all of them have been buying and selling me. It's how Biden flipped the election. I think they blackmailed Trump. But because everybody knew about me. You can say I'm a doomsday seed in many ways. This is how we put everything back together. I walk the path. These timelines in every degree of the zodiac from 5 degrees to 9 degrees was all fucked up. So what we're seeing right now is the correction of that. And also the wiping of so many of the things that I need to forget now. So there's a whole nother connection there with the Mormons and the Scientology and their involvement. And the list of people and companies involved at Texas A&M that are connected into Houston, Texas, that are connected into NASA, that are connected into the telecom industry, because I was Fortune 100 since I was 27 years old. I was in this industry for 23 years. They were using me to connect all of this in technology just like they used every other consultant and hybrid that they had made. And this is also associated to Versailles, because before they put me in the chamber, they had me in a chair for 4 hours with needles about 4 inches in my neck on each side, and I'm not really sure what they did then. All I know is that whenever I started going to that chamber, and all of a sudden I became promiscuous, all of a sudden I became a different person, all of a sudden I started acting out, and nobody did anything. They just said, oh, she's adopted, and we don't know who she is, so it must be her. Which is the nature of the problem when you come to a planet in order to evolve the DNA, because everyone thinks that you're foreign, but the thing is you don't have a choice because of shit like this. But what happened to us? Who's standing up for us in the human race? Why are they allowing and selling codes on people? They're selling codes, and then that's what's blowing up the earth. The earth thinks that the codes are on that particular part of the earth, but they're not. So then the earth reacts, but the person has stolen codes, so it can't ground the energy because they don't have the proper DNA to quantum entangle in the ascension cycle. And so the earth is blowing, tsunamis are happening, and everyone's just letting it happen by not helping and supporting beings like me who know what the fuck is going on, because they had y'all in a bubble on the other side of us to where you couldn't even hear us, and it was set up that way on purpose in spheres. Now that's gone. And beings like me and what you'll call the angels, they ain't gonna help you anymore. You know why? We're all on the ground right now and we're sitting in our cars telling you this. Because we came and sacrificed everything, and we have continuously since 2018 to support a human race that ended up backstabbing us from fucking every which way, and that is the fucking truth. Barnabas happened all over again, right here on this channel. Nobody did shit. You can tell I'm a little upset right now. Because my problem is, why does everybody blame me? I was just a little girl. And don't even get me started how this goes into John Benet Ramsey and dimensional time shifts and the fucking murders and everything else that have come across this last 20 years in order to set this bullshit up. So please, just remember, whatever you think that you got that's a problem, there's being like us that we've been here fighting this war, and we need your help because they surround us and it's a spiritual battle. They surround us, and then they come through everywhere. And see, I know I'm gonna make it. I'll be okay. Right now, I'm grieving because I can't even see my child because they use him against me. And now they got him so brainwashed that he don't even want to see me. But as so goes to all the other star beings that are separated from their children, just like Mary Queen of Scots. Why? So that we don't upgrade the men. Because then, lo and behold, if we were around our own sons and then we actually trained them to be proper human beings, then they couldn't control them, you see. Well, we're done with it. I thank you for listening. I thank you for hearing my story, and I'll be back with more. Tell your story. Please share this. Please share it. This has to stop. It just has to stop. Because when they do it to me, or they do it to one of us, they do it to all of you. Because it's how it works. Allowing them to do this to us allows them to do it to you. And actually, it happens anyway. Because it's DNA. And we hold all the DNA of all of you. It's how Epstein and all set it up. Please help us. Please help us.